Hey folks, welcome to Girl Talk. We're so excited to have you tuning in, and boy, this year is coming to a close. We're heading into 2016 and it's a big time. What do you guys think?
It's going fast.
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely.
I think it's the worst time to try to do a New Year's resolution. It's cold and it's dark and it's hard to get off the sofa. So
That's right. It can be a challenging time, but you know what? My favorite time, this part of the year is my favorite time of year because it's just a time to, spend with family, take a little break, take a breather, and when you start back at work after a couple of days off, you're a little bit refreshed. And
you know what I love too is that everybody seems to have this, this joy that comes along with the season.
Yeah.
It's Merry Christmas, it's Happy New Year, and I just wish that would carry on throughout the year.
Yeah. I mean, you can say it whenever you like.
Well, I mean, maybe not that specifically, but I mean, at my dog shop, everyone is just so cheerful and I mean, a little more kind.
Yeah.
And it's just I love the holidays. It's so great.
Too.
Agreed.
Excellent
Agreed.
food and presents. And
Yeah,
all
that's
the good
actually,
jazz.
I did mean to bring that up. I was expecting Janet to say something about cookies, but she didn't, I don't know, she didn't chime in.
Every time.
But it's that time of year when we overindulge and we party it up. And you know what? Once a year we can do it. It's okay.
thank you.
Only one.
Yes. Well, Janet may dabble year-round.
All right, so next we'll move on to...
We do have a great show for you. So we're going to chat with Joe Conant from Conant Automotive. He is the best. He's going to give us some great tips about vehicle safety in the winter and a lot of tips actually that I think we're going to be surprised about. He's a smart cookie. He's going to share some of his insight with us.
I actually have a question for him. Do you remember, it seems like it's been years since I've added that heat that you're supposed to put in your gas tank. I want to ask him if we're still supposed to be doing that, because I haven't done it. I remember years ago
I'm
I
worried 'cause
did.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. All right, well, we'll find out.
So that's going to be a long segment. That'll be great. We are also going to check in with our friends over at the Blow Dry Style Lounge. We've had them on before, and they are just fabulous folks. They pretty much do it all in terms of a salon. They have a great facial service. They are
Manicures, pedicures.
They sure do. The
everything.
mani-pedi, right? You got to get your mani-pedi.
With a glass of champagne, which I adore.
And mimosas.
I thought Michelle was going to bring that up. Yes, they do have wine, mimosas, actually fabulous coffee too. They have some pretty impressive machinery over there, but they do it all. Hair, spray tanning, which I need, ladies, I'll call you. And so we'll chat with them. We're going to be tackling a little bit tougher topic today as well.
Of tax tips.
Of tax tips.
I just wanted to get one more alliteration in there.
I loved it. Thank you for doing that, Janet. So if, it is the season for taxes, unfortunately, as well, and there's all kinds of questions that go along with taxes. Maybe you don't even know some of those questions. Sometimes you don't know to ask.
That's exactly how it goes, too. And the gal that we'll be chatting with, Nicole Broyles of Broyles and Company CPA, she is so good at being concise and precise in her answers. You know, a lot of that stuff is kind of Greek to some of us, at least.
And making it in a manageable way where you can understand it easily. That's the other thing, too, is sometimes with folks who are in this line of work, it's hard to see the forest from the trees kind of thing. You get into that lingo and know all the details and so much about it that sometimes it's hard to give an answer that's sort of broad and helpful, in a quick
And that
way.
I can understand.
Layman's terms is what we're looking for here, people. So we'll be covering that, and she'll be actually joining us all season long on Girl Talk. So
I
we're
am
gonna
looking
cover
forward to it.
Yep.
a wide gamut of topics, and can't wait. So that's next. After the break, we're going to learn about some tax tips and some other great financial advice here on Girl Talk, so stick around. Hey folks, welcome back to Girl Talk. We are so excited because we're going to be tackling a tough topic for folks, especially this time of year. We're going to be talking to Miss Nicole Broyles, who joins us. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So Nicole is with Broyles and Company CPAs, and you do tax services, bookkeeping services, QuickBook courses, which I think is great for business owners out there, payroll and HR services. So a lot under your umbrella.
Yes.
Let's start a little bit as we're coming into the new year, and let's talk about those individual income tax returns that we're all dreading having to get to, right?
Yes.
Let's get some tips for viewers at home just in this process.
Okay. If you have had a substantial amount of income in 2015 compared to prior years, you might consider paying some extra expenses to offset that income. For instance, bunching your deductions. If you itemize your deductions, maybe pay your property taxes before December 31st rather than waiting till January. Maybe making some extra charitable contributions that you might make after the first of the year. If your income is associated with maybe some realized gains from your mutual investments, your stocks, then maybe consider looking for some losses that have not been realized within those mutual funds or those investments, and sell those to offset the gains.
Right.
So,
So if your income is greater than you've been used to seeing, after you're done doing your happy dance, there's some steps to take to help you not to avoid some of those taxes.
Exactly, help minimize the tax that's associated with the extra income.
Good
Sure.
tip.
And you mentioned charitable contributions. Is there any documentation you need for your personal taxes?
It's different for cash versus non-cash contributions. So for a cash contribution, if it's less than $250, your canceled check or your record of receipt, record of payment is sufficient. If it's over $250, then the IRS says you need to have a written receipt from the organization identifying that they are a tax-exempt organization, that they have provided no goods or services in exchange, right? And that it's dated and the contribution was made in 2015. And you have to have that receipt in your hands before you file the tax return. If you get the dreaded letter from the IRS saying, we're auditing you, we have questions about the contributions you've made, and you go back and try and get that statement after the fact from the charity, they will disallow that deduction.
Too late. That's good to know. So a little bit of pre-planning. It's great when you can give back. You just kind of need to know going into it that you need the right
You
slip
need to
in
have
your
the piece of
hand when
paper,
you walk
right.
out that door. I like that.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know.
And what about the non-cash then, when you've got your box of sweaters and
Sure.
kitchen goods?
Yeah, everybody loves to donate to Goodwill, Salvation Army, what have you. And the IRS unfortunately says, we want you to maintain an itemized list of what you gave. If it's 10 shirts, 3 jeans, 4 shorts, itemize it. And then for each item that you gave, you identify the value of that item. If you go to any of those charitable organizations' websites, they will typically have a guide to use for valuing the donations. And even better, take pictures of what you did give. So with the pictures, the itemized list, that's the documentation you need to prove if it ever got questioned by the IRS.
That's so smart. So boxo junk doesn't qualify, right? You need to know what's in that box.
You might get away with it for a small amount of contribution, but if you get into $300, $500 worth of donations,
Really clearing
it's a
out.
different
Yeah.
picture.
Okay. Really good tip. I want to make sure we touch on this because last year this was a big situation and something that I think a lot of us are aware of. But there was a lot of fraudulent returns.
Yes.
So what is the IRS doing this year? Are there changes?
There's a new program that they're rolling out as a test for this tax filing season with regards to the W-2s themselves. They have partnered with a couple of the larger payroll providers who prepare W-2s, and they are going to be putting a unique 16-digit code on the W-2 itself. When you electronically file the return, you report that code that's on the W-2. Then when the IRS gets your return, they can verify if that's a valid W-2. And it's not someone just making information up and filing a return under your name.
And trying to get your refund.
Exactly, right.
It's so sad that we have to think about that, isn't it? I mean,
Taxes
it's
are
frustrating.
miserable enough.
Right, I know.
And if you have been a victim of identity theft or suspect that you have been, you can get a PIN from the IRS. You can go online and request a PIN that is unique to you. You use that PIN when filing your electronic return, and then the IRS says, okay, I have this return, this is the correct PIN. If I get a return without that PIN for this individual, I know it's a fraudulent return.
Gosh, Nicole, so much information in a short period of time. You're a whiz. Thank you so much. This is Nicole Broyles from Broyles & Company CPAs. Lots of great advice. We'll have you back, and we hope to have you back in just a minute here on Girl Talk. Hey folks, welcome back to Girl Talk. One of our favorite guests is joining us right now. Janet and I are sitting here with Miss Seisha, who you may recognize. She's joined us before. And Maria, we're so glad to have you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, ladies, we have a lot to cover in the beauty department. So we better get going. We're covering Moroccan oil. We are going to be talking a little bit about some party promotions. These guys throw a fabulous party, by the way.
Definitely.
And we're going to talk about eyebrows. So this is one of those mysteries for a lot of women. So this is where we're going to start. Maria, talk to us a little bit about what you do for the Blow Dry Style Lounge.
So myself and the Style Lounge have partnered up to extend or offer additional services to the salon. And what we have offered are private events and, you know, some parties that we can host at the place.
So neat. So we're really extending a lot of the different services that are available, which already we've mentioned is vast. You guys really do a lot at the Blow Dry Style Lounge, from, you know, pampering services to, you know, the traditional mani-pedi, the best hair you'll ever have, all of the above. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
And we should probably say Seisha's the manager over at the Blow Dry Style Lounge. And when the cameras were not quite going yet, we were talking about that you're going to be offering your space for private parties. Can you tell us more about that?
So we partnered up with Maria because, you know, we wanted to kind of also reach out to the Latin community. They do like what's called a quinceañera, and that's like a coming of age thing. And, you know, to be honest with you, we haven't really done that outlet with us. We offer the champagne and the wine and things of that nature, and I wanted to reach more with the community. So we already do bridal parties and bachelorette parties as well. And so I wanted to have it where they could actually have the place to themselves. And, you know, so if you have corporate events or, you know, things coming up, we'd be able to kind of introduce you to that. And Maria is an amazing party promoter. She also does those things. So with her being a part of what we did, and we've done events in the past, that's just something I wanted to offer everybody that was coming in the door. Like, where should we go? You know what I mean?
Okay, I don't know if this is a dumb question, but you're having a party, and are we also getting services at the same, like our toes are getting done while we're having this party? Okay.
I mean, the best part of the partying is we can have over 55 people getting services, and we can hold up to 105 people as a venue. So if you think about it like that, if we were to switch up, we could do 2 large groups of people coming in, and why not get pampered or get your hair done, nails done? I mean, that's what it's about while you're, you know, having champagne and mimosa. So,
so we can come in, we can get services, we can have a couple of drinks, we get to hang out with our girlfriends and you fabulous ladies. I mean, I can't think of a better evening.
Right?
It all sounds good. So last time we talked to you, Seisha, we did talk a little bit about Moroccan oil. So let's touch on some of those services, because that's a big part of what you guys are doing now. So you have new, actually last time I was in, you showed them off.
Yes,
they're really
I did,
cool,
just a
these
little
new
bit,
style
just a little bit.
escapes.
Yes.
So talk to us about that.
well, actually, Maria, you can tell them what look you have today.
Today I was styled by Mel from the Style Lounge, and I have the Viviana look and makeup done by Seisha.
And basically, the
hair.
Viviana is an introduction
It's
to
the
our
hair.
new looks.
Yeah.
And as you can see, she's got the big flow and everything like that. And with brides now, they're going more down. They're not always doing the updo. And so we wanted to offer that. And this look can last like 5 to 6 days with the products that we give you as well. So if you're, you know, that bride that's just like, I'm going to maintain this for at least a week to my honeymoon time.
And
These
it
are really
smells
great,
good.
luxurious looks.
Yeah,
smells
we
really
noticed
good.
that right when you walked in.
And you can see too the bounce. See, the one thing that these looks do is they have, it's not helmet head, it's a flow.
Right.
But it's still maintaining that actual integrity of the hair. So it's like, as long as you know, don't, you know, rub it out. You can just, you have silk pillows or different things to take care of your hair. It's just a great way to expand that look that you're paying for, basically.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. So no heavy metal rock concerts. The headbanging might ruin this look,
saying.
but other than that, you'll get 5 to 6 days. So let's go
Exactly.
over some of the other ones, because are there 4 in total?
There's the Viviana, and unfortunately, I haven't really introduced them all yet.
Okay, so we
this
don't
is
have to
just
roll
the
them
first
all
one.
out. Okay,
Yeah,
keep them
I
guessing.
just want to kind of keep them guessing because we haven't put it out there to the public, but I just wanted to kind of show like how luxurious
Well,
this
this
look
one's
is.
obviously stunning, and it's looking really pretty on you. And you know, Mel does a great job. She's one of my faves over there. Although it's hard to choose. You guys are all great.
And you know, also too, the Frosty Ball's coming up, you know, at the end of
point.
January. So my biggest thing is, you know, sign up now, get these, you know, we'll have these looks actually for a deal. So for those people that haven't kind of gotten in there, they need to do it. They need to sign up, come into the salon, get ready so you're not the last one.
And we didn't even get to eyebrow threading, so we have to have you back because this is something I definitely want to learn more about, and I think folks out there will too. So these guys are from the Style Lounge. All kinds of fabulous services. They throw one heck of a party, and we'll be back. We got more Girl Talk coming up after the break. Hello and welcome back to Girl Talk. So we've had all kinds of fun so far today, but this is the segment we've been promising you would be here. We're talking about winter maintenance for your car. I don't think there could be a more perfect time to have this discussion as the cold rolls in and we start buckling down, thinking about what could go wrong with our cars this year. This is Joe Conant, as you may recognize from Conant Automotive, and we're so glad to have you back, Joe. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's been a while.
So yeah, we're glad to see you and we love having you, and we love how you give us these great tips for our vehicles and let us just kind of shoot the breeze about any questions that we have. So let's kind of start with some of the things on the table and talking about what we can do to kind of get ready for the year.
All right, well, since winter is here, it's real simple to make sure that your vehicles start every morning. First things first is a good battery. I suggest every 3 years, and that might be a little bit early for some, but it's cheap insurance. A battery should cost you installed right around $130 anywhere.
Huh, that's it, huh?
And if you divide that up per year, it's pretty cheap insurance.
Yeah.
The other thing is having your oil changed, so that's done and out of the way.
Did you see my face? I need one, yeah.
It's just to make that car start when it's supposed to when we get down to the 10 below. Them are the two major things to get done.
Okay. And with the oil changes in the winter, now, typically you've told us that 3,000 mile mark. Do you think sooner, or are we still good at 3,000?
Well, mainly it's we set it at 4,500 on the oil that we use.
Okay.
I suggest going with a semi-synthetic or a full synthetic oil change. I'm glad you brought that up because you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
So you see the signs that say 1995 oil change. You're not getting what your vehicle needs.
Okay.
You're going to spend $50, $60.
I'm glad you asked or brought that up too. Is I never know if that's worth the money. You know, there's all these different price points and different oils, and I have an older vehicle, and going into the winter, you think it's worth spending the money on the better oil?
Oh, always. Always.
How do you know what oil they're putting in?
Trust, branding, brand name, like if you go to like a Valvoline, Pennzoil, Quaker State, when you go to the lower price, like the 1995, they're generally using the lowest cost oil to make, because an oil change, the money that's made on an oil change is really not that much because you have so much tied up in the product itself. So 1995, you're not getting the greatest oil.
Right, because they've got to have some margin, or what's the point?
Yeah, you got to have margin.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
We're in business, so yeah, you have to have margins.
So that's good to know. And I love the battery tip too, because when your battery does die, and I've had this happen, then you're stuck. And then you're dealing with expenses like possibly towing or having somebody come out to you. And for the price, I didn't even think it was that inexpensive to get that changed. It's really great.
They're very, for what you're getting, that's very inexpensive.
So
Isn't there a way to tell how old it is? It seems like I remember.
Yeah, it should be a date code right on the top there where it's punched out.
I'll see that,
generally, that's what they're supposed to do. A lot of places sometimes, get into a hurry and don't put the date that it's put in.
So interesting.
So you're just a guessing game. Quickly on the battery situation, this is a little piece of equipment that you can get for right around about $200. It may seem like a lot of money, but they do come smaller. And this is actually a jump pack, meaning you can jump start a vehicle. You can even jump start a big diesel truck.
Wow.
With just that.
And you can also power a laptop, your phone. I've recommended this to a lot of people that have kids that are going to college. They can stick that in their vehicle. And that way they don't get the call on a Sunday night when they're 200 miles away. At least they can get home safe.
Or you have to ask a stranger.
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I was just saying too.
Yep.
I just got chills because I've had to do that before, and it's always worked out. But if I had something like that, boy, that would take.
And that's a bigger unit. They do come smaller, and like I say, they're right around the 250, 250 range.
Where do you get that?
I know Farm and Fleet has them. I mean, everybody has them now.
Oh, really? Wow.
And what do you call them?
It's just a battery jump pack.
Okay. Now, what's this fun gadget?
This is something I recommend people keep in their vehicles. It's a snow broom. Basically, it's foam so you don't scratch the paint, so you can actually clean all the snow off your vehicle so you're not driving down the road with all this snow on it.
Especially the hood where it can blow
Yeah, it
back.
blows in.
Exactly. And also, since we're on that subject of cleaning off where the windshield wipers go, the cowl area, what happens is you'll get into such a hurry, you'll get the wipers going, and it basically will destroy the wiper motor. Because
they get
it's
stuck?
Oh
because
no,
it
I do
gets
this all
stuck.
the time too. I do everything wrong.
And
what
wiper
I'm
motors
learning.
are kind of expensive to replace, so you definitely want to get your car clean. On the wiper subject here, we got two kinds of wipers. You got the beam type, and you got the old suspension type, I'll call them. Well, snow and ice can get trapped in here, and then your wiper blade's doing nothing. And I know you've probably experienced that going down the road. You're not cleaning the window.
So it's going, but it's not
Right, it's
cleaning,
not making
working.
contact.
Yeah.
Whereas this one here will make full contact to the windshield, and it's less likely to get snow built up on it. So there's a safety thing too.
How often are you supposed to change out your windshield wipers?
I recommend once a year,
Once a
twice
year?
a year
Okay.
maybe, because they are out in the elements, they're getting beat up, and people overlook them.
What another thing I need?
The beam, it's beam type. Basically everything made now has this type on it, new vehicles that is, but older vehicles, they have these for the older vehicles, but these will work also.
If you have the older ones, can you can
Yes,
switch
yep.
to, you can go to
Yep,
either
you can
way.
get the new ones.
And what should we be spending on a set of windshield wipers like this?
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
You should spend probably $15 to maybe $30 on a set.
Okay, that's we can do that.
Don't get
that's
the
not bad.
$2 ones because they're not going to work out for you.
Could be a stocking stuffer.
You know
The
what,
$2
Janet? That's not. No, we get the good ones if you're going to do that. Oh my gosh, Joe, thank you so much. Is there anything else here we want to talk about, or we cover the important
Real
things?
quickly. When you got car keys, have them look like this. One key, maybe house key, and the key fob.
Okay.
This is bad. You don't need all this stuff on your keychain.
Right.
It wears out the ignition lock cylinder,
Does it?
and it's just... It's
Because of the weight?
Because of the weight. That's always hanging on the little ignition lock cylinder, and it wears them out prematurely.
Interesting. I didn't know that. And safety, you know, when you're fumbling around getting into your car, you got to be careful safety-wise, too.
Exactly.
Joe, this is all fabulous. Thank you so much for these
You're welcome.
fantastic tips. Joe is from Conant Automotive out in Stoughton. Make sure you check him out. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to all of our guests, and thank you for watching. Join us next time for Girl Talk.